G'day you Rip Roaring Bonds of Beauty Mobile legends, Uncle Jojo here, warm and cheek up to another Rip Roaring episode. We are looking at subfloor frames in a wet area, and what we've done, if you haven't been following the vid so far, is we've had to actually dig a strip footing the whole way around just to underpin everything and make sure it wasn't going anywhere. From there, what we've done is when we've done the concrete pour, we actually put in a builder's plastic and separated the concrete pour from the ground. So no moisture from the ground, or reducing the amount of moisture that comes from the ground into that concrete. On top of that concrete, what we've done is we've actually painted the membrane, a rubber membrane, straight onto that concrete. And then from there, what we've done is we've used a Malfoy, treated pine, and then we've started to screw down that treated pine, and then we've built our subfloor frame. There's a few videos that are going to catch up, and you're going to show you all of those steps one by one. Next, what I want to just talk to you about is tying everything in. So, when we're looking at an area like this, what we want to do more than anything is tie it all in. So, the reason that we're making sure that we separate our timber as much as we can from the masonry is that if masonry gets into that grain, even knowing it's treated pine, it can weaken it and soften it and pull it apart, or disintegrate the grain so it can pull apart easily. To make sure that doesn't happen, or to reduce the chances of that as much as we can, we separate the timber from the masonry as much as we can. But we want to be able to fix to the timber. So that's why we're using Malfoy, we're using rubber membrane, we're tar painting, we're using all of those things to try and create a membrane, a separation between one to the other, but still be able to get some good fixing, some good adhesive fixing from one to the other. Then once we've done all of that, you'll see that I've got noggins everywhere and I've got soldiers. If you've looked at my video going back probably about 4 years ago, we do hanging beams and we always put soldiers on the side so it ties the whole thing together. We've done the exact same thing here. What we want to make sure is that we tie our joist section down to our bearing point so that everything gets held together. Once we've done that, then we put noggins in. So if there's any movement whatsoever, it'll all hold into place, which is exactly what we're after. Underneath every single bearing point, we've got Malfoy. So what that does is, if by chance this treated pine here is screwed down, the bearing treated pine is screwed down to the foundation. If by chance any moisture does come through that and that timber becomes soft, it can sometimes, while walking over back and forward, what's called a live load, can pull those screws out. We don't want that to happen, no way. So what we're going to do is we're going to tie the whole thing together, and every single one of these is tied. So if by chance one of them becomes loose, everything else is tied in. Hence why we've got all the noggins, all the soldiers, and everything becomes one big unit. So that's where we want to be. Then we get everything flat and consistent all the way through, and then we can start putting our floors down. The other thing that we've done here is we haven't used any bearers, as you've seen, but although I've used pine, I've made sure the depth of my pine can span this area, can travel from one side to the other without any bounce. So what we want to make sure of there is that there's no bounce. If there's any bounce in the floor, we can crackle our tiles and stuff. We want to make sure it's structurally sound and that it can't move. Or when it does move, it moves as one unit. There's no singular movement. So it all ties it in. And by using a treated pine, we're using treated pine underneath the wet area. So if anything does get wet, it doesn't rot away, or it greatly reduces the chances of that rotting away or weakening and being able to pull apart. So then we don't have to worry about this bathroom for another 150 years. And that's what we're after. Longevity of structure and structural integrity. That's right. Any questions or queries about any of that, flick it over. I'll answer it for you best I can, whenever I can. Thanks for watching. Like always, stay unreal, Banana Peels, and I'll see you in the soup.